the Sangha out of compassion for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức tận tình, bi thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh. Tình chuyên diệu vạn luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư vi khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sananto Chichero Ye Alahari San Miao San Puto Xie. Nam mô Tarakta Toya Daja Hara De Tamil Tambo Da Toa. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu sheng 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 wei miao fa bai jian wan jie nan zao yu wo jin jie wen de shou qu yuan jie ru lai zheng shi yi. Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Venerable Henang, Venerable Shenhua, Venerable Left People, and all good advisors, Emituofo. 诸佛菩萨、六祖师父、上人、各位出家人、各位善知识、阿弥陀佛。chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa lục tổ Thượng Thiên Hóa, quý thầy cô, các vị thiện tri thức, A Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 18th of July 2021. We are gathered here to continue discussing the sixth Patriarch Sutra, the last chapter. We're on chapter 10, the final instructions, the last thing he taught his disciples before he left, before he entered Nirvana. We're on slide 162, and on the last bullet I'm told. Let me re-situate myself here. There's a couple of questions from last week. Go ahead.
Yes. Ken Brahma asks, Master, could you please elaborate on the different stages of samadhi?
Different stages of samadhi? There are too many stages of the samadhi, and I'm sure he's referring to Dalai Lama, who wrote a book on the stages of samadhi. I read that a long time ago. To be honest with you, I don't remember a single thing. But that's only because I'm stupid. And then there are some other papers on stages of samadhi, and the apparently the Hinayana people like to talk about stages of samadhi. When you talk about stages of samadhi, I'll make this comment for you. When you talk about stages of samadhi, I don't want to listen. I don't want to hear it, because people, when we talk about that, usually talk about low-level samadhis. When you go to high level, which high level means you're beyond 8th samadhi, then we really don't talk about samadhis anymore. Okay, we don't talk about stages of samadhi, especially stages of samadhi, because it's such a vast thing. So my recollection of stages of samadhis refer to the first 8 samadhis, the 4 dhyanas, and the 4 samadhis. What the first 4 are called dhyana in Chinese, so we preserve the same names. And from 5th to 8th, that's called samadhi for us. Okay, so those are usually known as stages of samadhi, and I remember vaguely, maybe the Tibetans call it as such, but I used to talk about it. I remember Caucasian monk Xian Jie, who first came to my temple 15 years ago, because he was curious about samadhi, so I explained to him a little bit in the Earth Sutra a long time ago. But ever since the last 5 years, we don't really talk about samadhis anymore, because for some reason, they've been flying through those stages of samadhi so quickly that I can't keep track of them anymore. Like the Koreans who came, for example, the last few months, they're flying through these stages. So as soon as I start talking about one stage, they just flew to the next. So that's why I'm too lazy to talk about it. So stages of samadhi, the brief answer is read up on the books on the Dalai Lama. I think there's some stages of samadhi that Tibetans like to talk about. And then Master YongHua talked about some dhyana and samadhis as well, and so forth. There's plenty of materials on that. That's in particular, Master YongHua explanation is the best one. Is the most detailed, if you will. Okay, so it's very useful. Now, why would you want to learn about stages of samadhis? I can tell you this. Number one is that the one thing I learned about the first 4 is that number one is very important, because when you learn whatever spiritual practice you engage in, you want to go to at least first dhyana. The sooner you get there, the more convinced you are about the great benefits of any form of spiritual practice. So the first dhyana is very important for all of you practitioners. And then for us, people who are more ambitious, the 3rd dhyana is quite dangerous, because most monks and nuns and lay people, they're stuck on 3rd dhyana. Lifetime after lifetime. I've seen so many monks and nuns who are like that. It's unfortunate. So be careful about that. Master YongHua, that's what he warned us. So, and I found his warning useful, because when I entered 3rd dhyana, I stayed there for 2 days, because I was so scared. I said, I don't want to stay here. Let's get out of here. Yuck. It's like going to IKEA and buy furniture. Good Lord, why would you want to do that? Anyway, I'm just kidding. You IKEA lovers. So those are the 2 things you need to be aware of. And once you get to 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, it's more interesting. And then be forewarned, you'll be stuck at 8. Unless you get the Buddhists to help you out. Okay? That's all I'm willing to tell you. Question number 2.
Master, I have a question. The New Age movement believed that our Saha world would become a pure place in the future. My question is, will an impure land become pure in the future? Do they go through cycles as we do?
Who said so? Who did he quote? I'm sorry.
He didn't quote anyone. He just said the New Age movement.
Oh, the New Age movement. I'm not familiar with that particular New Age movement. I don't know New Age, nor am I familiar with this movement. But it's nonsense. Okay, moving on. It's not true. Basically, a Buddha land is created by a Buddha. And when you become a Buddha, you find out this yourself. When you become a Buddha, you have to decide what kind of Buddha land you're going to have. Okay? And you made that decision way before you became a Buddha. Way before that. Because you start working on your Buddha land over time, just like building your dream house, So it takes time to build it, and so you build this Buddha. So very early on, you have to decide whether it's going to be pure or impure. You can't just say just before you become a Buddha, and then you decide to change the nature, switch it from pure to impure, or vice versa. The infrastructure has been built already. The highways are there, the bridges are there. You can't switch them anymore, if you will. Okay, so Buddha lands don't just change the nature of pure or impure. And let me explain to you why you decide to do pure versus impure. And then if you understand that, you see why it's not possible to switch from pure to impure. Okay? When you become a Buddha, this is just my thinking, okay? It's not written anywhere. When you want to become a Buddha, it's for this lofty thing in your heart that says, I want to become a Buddha in order to save a lot of people. Anyone have that? I mean, I don't mean me, but anyone, raise your hand. See, he's so far away. So why are you asking about pure, impure land? What kind of nonsense is this? Okay, but when you decide to come, when you know that you have a chance to become a Buddha, and then you say, I want to become a Buddha because it's in my heart, I have this burning desire to help living beings. Okay, and the best way to help living beings is by creating an environment for them to come, so that you can teach them. In particular, the living beings that you owe to. On the path of Buddhahood, you owe a lot of people, a lot of things. Okay? Think of what we ate today for lunch. For some reason, I'm still thinking about food after a full lunch. Huh? Hey, you Koreans, we just had pho today. Look at the Koreans. Anyway, so when you eat at pho, we had pho today. It took a lot of people to make it happen. You need people to cook. You need people to prepare the vegetables. You need someone to kill the cow and stuff like that. Okay, so you need so many hands involved. And remember, when you eat a real bowl of pho with those thin stripes of filet mignon, okay, someone has to kill a cattle for you. So actually, when you eat that, you owe the cattle as well. Think about it. Okay, so when you become a Buddha, you have all these debts that you incurred on your path to Buddhahood. So you said, I know how cheap those living beings are. Living beings are cheap. When you owe them things, they will make sure they come to your house and ask for them. Yes or no? This is what happens in Vietnam. We borrow money from others, and sure enough, they come to our house day and night and say, hey, when are you going to pay it back? Happens in America or not? No? Not here? You give it away like the banks, give it your money, go here again, go buy a car and enjoy the car. Of course not. They want to make sure it's repaid. So that's what happens. The Buddha is very clever. They say that now I come a Buddha. I have the lot. I'm so rich. So all my creditors would make sure to come and make a claim on me, plus interest, plus penalties, plus all those things. And now I can pay. And that's why I'm going to create a Buddha land, okay, to make it easier for them to come and ask for payback. Make sense? Think of it as this way: someone owes you money, and you have to travel to that place, and they give you free hotel, free food, free shuttle bus from the airport to the hotel, free concierge, free Broadway tickets and all those things. Wouldn't you go? Absolutely, you would go. So that's why Buddhas have their own Buddha lands, to entice their past creditors and coming to make a claim on them. They're very, very clever. Okay. Now, there are two kinds of lands, Buddha lands, you can create. Okay. The ones that are for a pure Buddha land and impure Buddha land. Okay. The pure Buddha land are a special kind of place where you really have no suffering whatsoever. And the impure Buddha land is where there's a lot of suffering. Okay? And so the Buddhas have to decide which Buddha land they're going to create, a pure land or an impure land. And they're not interchangeable. Okay? The infrastructure are designed to handle only the pure environment versus the impure environment. All right? So that's why it's not possible for you to switch at all. Okay? So that's what it is. So you create a Buddha land that is the most effective way for you to repay your debts to your past creditors and to save living beings who don't owe you at all. Okay? So that's why the Buddhas have to choose between those two types. Okay? When I was younger, when I first started, I thought, well, Pure Land would be so cool because people will be so happy. We're surrounded by happy people, you know? They eat lunch, a great meal, and then come sit on the bench and doze off, you see? Okay, so people are so happy. And then later on, and I realized later on, I said, maybe right now, when it's time for me to create a pure land, a Buddha land, I probably am leaning more on the impure land. Because I'm discovering that impure lands are more fun than pure lands. Yes, sir. Cinco.
We obviously, I for sure owe the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas for, their kindness, and they've done a lot for me. So
no, you don't.
How would I pay them back? I feel like I have to pay them back,
You don't owe them anything. Why would you have to pay them back? You think the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas come and help you in order for you to owe them? That they make you incur debts towards them? No, you don't owe them anything at all. You're free to do as you please. Okay? It's free help, truly free help. Okay? No strings attached. Okay? You should feel guilty, like if you are a free loafer, but in actuality, you don't owe him anything, none whatsoever. Okay, and that's why I know I owe my master nothing, but that's why I wanted to pay him so that he owes me. Make sense? And then he had created an impure land for me. Okay, anyone else? Yes, Guru.
Master, since we're on the subject of past creditor, could you please explain how the past creditor plaque works?
You have to ask the spy number 1. She's the expert on all my plaques. It's just you should pay back the beings you owe to. That's all. Because especially when you are undertaking something, maybe whatever you do, whether it's cultivation or trying to get rich or whatever, or get married or something, or for us trying to do a lecture, put on a lecture like this, your creditors will come and stop you. Okay, and that's why that's because they're entitled to stop you, because you hindered them in the past. And that's why now you try to do something important, they will come and try to give you grief. And that's why in our case, we have so many computer issues, audio, video issues, especially Tian Guo, her computer broke down at least, I think she went through at least 3 laptops so far. Can you imagine? 3 laptops, never happened to me. So this woman here really has a lot of karmic obstruction with the computer people. And computers, by the way, are demons. So she, owes the demon, not just creditors, it's demons. Anyway, so that's why at times, if you cannot figure out what to do to overcome your obstructions, one last resort you might consider is to try to pay them off instead of trying to fight them. Okay, pay back. So those are the ones that actually are the creating the obstructions in your pathways right now. Okay, so it's a means to get some reprieve for yourself so that you can proceed. Okay, all right. Question from Korea.
Yes, Master, I have a question. Why would you like your Buddha land as impure?
Where or when?
Why?
Impure?
Yes. Master.
I just told you, I feel the impure is more fun than pure. Pure is just too boring. People are so nice, so happy. I'm getting used to, I woke up like recently, the last few months, I woke up and say, wow, why are people so afflicted? And, I look at all the people I know in the past and now and all of you and so forth. Most of you are poor, so it doesn't matter. But the rich people I know, they're so unhappy. They're so miserable. They throw money at you and they go and buy things and buy yachts and buy, resorts and so forth. They're very, very unhappy. Okay? And that's intriguing to me. Whereas if you go to the Pure Land, hello, namaste. Everyone's so happy. Yuck. because I'm getting used to your grief and your afflictions. And I would miss it terribly if I go to the Pure Land and only see happy people, So that's why I'm leaning towards impure land right now, until someone who's really, really afflicted gets to me, then I might change my mind. Yes, you too. Go ahead.
Daniel asked, is it possible you can elaborate on computers are demons?
No, I can't. It's a Catholic secret. All right, anyone else? Well, suffices to tell you, my Catholic friend comes from my Chinese, late Chinese master. He said that the demons invented the computers. They control the computers. Okay, so you see, that's why it's a medium where you find a lot of demonic things. Very demonic, those ransomware, viruses, and malware. And I found out recently that the Israelis have a program, a spy program, that they plant a virus in you to spy on you, and you don't need to download anything, nothing. You don't need to, typically when they infect your computers, they give you a phishing thing where they give you a link and you click on it, and that's how they download, the malware is downloaded to your computer, and then it spreads, like this COVID-19. But for this particular Israeli thing here, they can infect your computer without any download needed. It's demonic. Think about it. Okay, it takes demonic mind to do those things. You too, go ahead.
Emily asked, no wonder I have so many computer issues at work. How do you pay off the demons? I dreamt I stabbed one to kill him, but he just laughed at me while I cried.
Well, I would offer you the wisdom of the Americans. Okay, if you want to fight demons, you become a demon yourself. Because you cannot fight demons unless you're a demon. Ching! Huh? Think about it. Why would you want to fight demons? See, if you try to kill a demon, then you're a demon already. Because we non-demons don't kill, including we don't kill even demons. So congratulations, you're on the way to be able to more effectively fight demons, but you're slowly becoming a demon yourself with that thought of, that attempt to try to kill a demon. That's demonic. Congratulations, police woman. Cut it out. Why do you need to kill demons? I find demons very useful. That's why I'm coming back to impure land, where I want to create so many demons just to afflict Mayan princesses and crazy Korean women and stuff like that. Huh? It's more fun. Why would you want to kill demons? I give you a reason why you don't want to kill demons. Demons help you become Buddhas much faster than otherwise. So it's like you use demons in order to become a Buddha. How's that? So the demons think they come here to harass us. They can harass, people like that. But we use them. You outsmart them. See, in other words, the reason that many of you have been progressing more quickly than the other side, is that we have more demons at our disposal than they have. Huh? So, policewoman, it's okay to kill demons in Chicago, but not in California. In California, we love demons. Anyone else? Yeah, you guys are so weak. You want someone, you encounter obstruction, you cry. You want someone who's demonic, you want to kill them. What kind of weakling are you? Can't you embrace demons? Huh? What are you afraid of? They're going to kill you? Let them. Single.
Does the sudden enlightenment Dharma work better in impure lands than pure lands?
No. Sudden enlightenment, sudden teaching is a sudden teaching. Okay. I find, I haven't been to the Pure Land yet, but in the impure land, I find the impure land to be very find it to be very effective in the impure land. Okay, and then in the Pure Land, if let's talk about the Pure Land, and most of us know the Western Bliss Pure Land. There's many Pure Lands. Okay, we don't know them all. There's so many of them. And the one that we have a lot of information on is the Western Bliss Pure Land. You go there. It's all up to Amitabha Buddha. So you don't have to worry about sudden or uncertain or gradual or whatever. He will teach you the way that he feels that you are worthy to be taught. That's all. You don't worry about that. For us, the distinction is more applicable to us over here, where the nature of the environment creates that kind of distinction. But I'm not sure that is any more effective in a Pure Land versus here. It's not about the method; it's about the teacher. Okay. The teachers have at their disposal the similar repertoires. Okay, but how they use those tools, that's what differentiates the teachers. Okay, so. Okay, anyone else? Anything else? All right. Yes, sir. Chao Ong, were you in the GI, right? You were GI Joe, right? Okay. Yeah.
Master, are we on bullet point 4?
Yes, sir.
We parted ways last Sunday with your suggestion that you would advise us more today on how to not contemplate or concentrate on stillness and emptiness.
That's bullet number 4. Exactly. Very good. Okay. I need to backtrack first. Okay. Let's look at 162 now. Slide 162. First of all, he started by saying that this Dharma is not dual, nor is the mind. Okay. He says the Dharma I'm teaching you, I've been teaching you, is not dual. Meaning that everything I told you, I taught you, everything, especially since we were a Chan school, okay, a Chan temple, everything I've been teaching you is not dual. Meaning that you need to stop that discriminating mind. You need to stop deliberating in your mind. Whether it's beneficial, this is unbeneficial, this is advantageous, it's advantageous, that whether it's gain or loss, whether it's smart or stupid. You know, I was talking as a young man, I asked, you went to a school in a master's program in the Midwest, and it's a decent school. Okay. So what do you think of these people? He said, well, I'm not impressed with them. But the business section is pretty good people. And I said, pretty good? I went to the competing, I just talked to it about it myself. I didn't say anything to him. I went to the real school in the Midwest, where we look down upon his institution as like UCLA looks at USC, if you will. Okay, so stop discriminating. Okay, applies to me too. So this Dharma here is not designed for you to be so discriminating. Stop discriminating. Okay? And the discrimination comes from thinking. The more you think, the more you discriminate. So stop thinking. That's all. It's that simple. It's non-dual here. He says, nor is the mind. Meaning that in one sentence right there, he says, I will interpret it very simply for you. The Dharma is not dual, meaning whatever outside, okay? Well, you look at it as rich and poor, pretty, ugly, white, Asian, you know, that kind of thing. The discrimination right there, okay? It's not necessary because your mind, your true mind, does not discriminate. That's what he's talking about. The Dharma outside, whatever outside, is not real. You know, you see it as woman versus man, yang, yin, and so forth. It's not real. It's an illusion. Okay? And your true mind, okay, is the one that does not discriminate when you observe the outside, when you look at the outside world. Does it help? Don't look at yourself and say, I'm poor, I'm uneducated. So is the sixth patriarch. Yes? He's poorer than you, for sure. He's less educated than you, for sure. Yes? And yet he's a patriarch because he understood that the mind is not, the Dharma is not doing, okay? The outside world is not dual. It's not rich and poor. There's no smart and no stupid. It's all illusions. Okay? Because of your false mind, it keeps on discriminating. Because you have no wisdom. Okay? The true mind is not dual. It does not discriminate. It embraces black and white, ugly, and desirable. So far, so good? And the way is pure without any marks. The way is pure. Pure here, think of it in terms of no greed, no anger, no stupidity. You hear? No anger. No need to scheme. No need to be greedy. Okay? That's purity without any marks. Without any marks here refers to, I don't remember why I told you last week, without any marks here refers to if you really understand the way, then you are no longer attached to marks. You disappear. You have no more appearance of cultivating. But when you don't understand the way yet. You have not accomplished the way yet. You are stuck on appearances. You, for example, people like me who speak Dharma would have a certain demeanor, certain way of speaking, certain vocabulary they use. Otherwise, it's not the marks of a Dharma master. See? Exactly how I felt. Okay? It's not necessary. So the way is pure, because when you speak Dharma and you sit there and you guys pay attention, you sit there and say, I need to impress them, I need to teach them something, then you are not pure. The Dharma you're speaking is not pure. I need to impress them. Okay? You're not pure. It's not like that. So you're free. It flows. Okay? There's no marks. No marks of a Dharma master. Okay? All of you take care not to contemplate. Oh, YouTube has a question. Go ahead, YouTube.
Emily asked, how do I pay off a demon?
Why you pay off the demons? Again, this woman, what have you been doing the last hour? I've been telling you, girl, police woman, that your mind is so dual. You still see a demon you need to pay off. Just don't pay them, just to irk them, make them more demonic. This woman is so obsessed. It's so American. It's a bad thing, therefore let me get rid of it. No, if the demon come close, sit next to me, let's drink together, and let's go play cards together, so that I know you better and recognize you faster. And then I can see how you hurt my disciples, and how you try to con me. Huh? What are you afraid of? Why do you have to pay them off? Okay? Instead of paying off demons, you see, the premise of someone who wants to pay off the demons is what? Fear. Huh? You're a policewoman. You're not supposed to be a chicken. Does it help? Just shoot at the demon. Pull out that, if you try, it didn't work, try the 357 Magnum. You feel lucky today, punk. Yes, Tres.
You had said that everything we see or hear is an illusion.
Yes.
I was wondering who would create the illusion, or who is creating the illusion?
Good question. Beats me. The question is, why would we create such illusions? It's we who create the illusions. So what does it mean? It's a good question for the young princess. Okay, don't worry. Okay, your princessdom is still safe, even though it's an illusion. Okay, people can choose to remain in this illusory world. Okay, it's perfectly okay. Okay, this don't be you non-Buddhist. You are new. Those who are new to Buddhism should not be alarmed about this thing that like the Chinese like to say, everything is false, everything is illusion, it's all an illusion. Okay, it's Buddhist wisdom. But don't be alarmed by that and don't reject that. It's true. Okay, at the same time, it's also false. So you have nothing to worry about. The world we live in is called an illusion because it's the words of wisdom, because the people who have wisdom would see it as an illusion. But if you are not able to see it's an illusion, the Buddhists can help you find your way in this illusion, in this delusion, in this mess, in this quagmire, this big mess here, and you find a way for you to be able to see it as an illusion eventually. That is, if you don't reject that concept, it's an illusion. That's all. Okay. What happens is the people who don't have enough blessings, the first thing we hear about us Buddhists saying that everything is false, everything is but an illusion, life is but a dream. They reject it and say, oh, what are you talking about? My Ferrari is real. You know how much I spend money on that car? Then he flashes a $100 bill in your face. And, is this real to you or false? Is your wife real to you or is she false? Real, right? My wife is real. That's what our disciples say. The people with wisdom would say so. Only stupid people would say, my wife is an illusion. There's no wisdom in saying that. Okay, you see? So, it's an illusion, but it's not an illusion either. So it depends on your level of wisdom. When you have wisdom, then you see it as an illusion. When you don't have wisdom, you cannot see it as an illusion. So it's more used as a reminder of where you are. It's not meant for you to blindly accept it, okay, or reject it. It's meant to say, life is an illusion. It says, say what? Okay, then you're not there. Whereas the people, then if you don't see life as an illusion, the Buddhists have this way of practice where will help you clear out that delusion, those delusions, and help you. And the advantage of getting rid of those delusions is that you find true happiness. Because when you are still stuck in these delusions, you cannot find true happiness, unfortunately. And that's a proof why it's an illusion. Because as long as an illusion, whatever you think is happiness, and you shoot for, and you strive for, it will result in big disappointments, because you find it's not true. Whatever makes you happy doesn't really make you happy. Children used to be so lovely when they're younger. When they get older, be your age. Can't wait for them to run away from home. Okay? Ask most American parents. All right? So that's what it means. Don't be alarmed. For you, it's not an illusion, okay, yet. But eventually, when you grow older and you find life to have so many disappointments, and then you come to me and I say, I told you so. It's all delusion. It's all an illusion. Don't be so attached. Okay? So enjoy it for now, but don't be too attached to it. People with wisdom, in contrast, they understand that it's but an illusion. People with great wisdom understand both. It's an illusion and it's not an illusion. So the two levels of wisdom, if you will. There are three kinds of people. Deluded people. Good luck trying to make them happy. It's impossible. No way that can be happy, ever. Okay? Till the end of time, they will never be happy. You see, that's why I prefer impure land, because it's called job security. Huh? No matter what we do, they will always have to come back and ask for more. Because they're so unhappy. Okay? They first want to kill this one demon, and then next demon comes around, and I want to kill that, but I can't. I gotta interest you in a sawed-off shotgun here. See? Job security. So those deluded people are hopeless. It's just play along. Don't alarm them too much. Okay, give policewoman a shotgun, and then maybe a machine gun and a bazooka and so forth. Keep her happy temporarily. That's all you can do. That's what you do with real people of the world. Okay, that's reality, folks. Okay, the second group of people are the people who can see it as an illusion. Okay. Them people can listen to reason. You talk to them. They're talkable. I would marry them. I would not marry deluded people, by the way. Because you are bringing unhappiness to your family. I'm having fun insulting all of you. You don't even notice that. Okay? Marry people who see life as an illusion. Those are people worth hanging on to. Any questions, objections? Suzanne? Suzanne, any problems? You look great, by the way. Huh? I meant to tell you should lose more weight, but you just get to do it by yourself. That's wisdom, and that's blessings. Anyway, so the people who can see it's an illusion, those people are reasonable. You can trust them. Okay? And then the third group are the people who have real wisdom, meaning that they will see it as an illusion, but they don't reject it. Yes.
You explained that quote last time where the guys, the master sees the mountains as mountains, and then he sees the mountains as not mountains, and he sees the mountains as mountains again. Is it like that?
Yes, absolutely. Okay. And first, you see a car is a real car, a red color, and those sports seats, and absolutely stay away from EVs, supercars. Come on, what are we talking about? Why would you have a supercar with electric? What kind of nonsense is? A supercar is designed to pollute the environment. Otherwise, it's not a supercar. Never mind. All right, so a supercar is supercar, and then the next level of wisdom is that you realize a supercar is really not a supercar, it's but an illusion. Okay, being able to see that. And finally, third level of real wisdom is you see it as actually it's a supercar. Again, okay, that's what we're talking about. Anyone else? Okay, going back to slide 162. Okay, so the way, meaning wisdom. When you have wisdom, you appear. Okay, you're not greedy, you're not angry. Okay? And you don't try to pretend. Okay? You don't try to impress people. Don't try to sell yourself. Does it help? This is yourself. Okay? So you're born short and Chinese. You say, so be it. It doesn't bother you. You know? All right? And so that's why those who understand, like Master Hui Neng, they see the way is pure and they are free of marks. And they are not attached to marks. Okay? All of you take care not to contemplate stillness or empty the mind. Okay? In particular, his disciples at the stage where they are, many of them, so many of them are in the range where they are about to certify to fourth stage arhats, certify to stillness, the mind will understand stillness. Okay? And when you get to that state of samadhi, okay, then these people, I'm referring particularly to the sound hearers, he's very concerned about those people. He's concerned about his disciples. As I told you, I remember vaguely telling you that I believe that many of his disciples were in the arhat range, meaning below fourth stage arhat. He's very concerned about them. Those are the problem child, if you will, in the marketing world, meaning that they can cause a lot of problems, okay, if you're not careful. And when he's alive, he's able to fix them easily. But after he left, he probably could foresee that these people would not listen to the elders. And because the elders didn't have enough samadhi power to convince them. Okay, and it's true, the 7 patriarchs level is not that high. And so he's very concerned. He says, all of you, meaning that almost all of you, but he says all of you because he cannot say except for, policewoman, except for, the princess, except for, that crazy person and so forth. He can't do that because he was singling out, drawing attention, unnecessary attention to a group of people who prefer to remain anonymous. All of you, he says, all of you, okay? Meaning that those of you who are beyond that have to remind them yourself as well, okay? All of you need to take care, you need to be careful not to contemplate stillness, okay? Meaning that when you reach a state of stillness, okay, a state of calm, the stillness right there, don't be stuck there. Contemplate stillness here refers to that you, let's say, in a marketplace. Let's say you are in the restaurant where it's noisy, and the TVs are loud, and the customers are talking loudly and laughing and arguing and so forth, okay? And all that noise, okay? And these people can easily enter stillness. They can look at that as this, what noise? What chaos? Okay? You do that by contemplating stillness. Okay? And the Master says, Don't do that. Don't try to do that. And Brady asking, why? Why am I not supposed to do it? If I can, why can't I? Why won't I do it? Why not? Right? I mean, it's noisy. It is chaotic. This is a mess. Why don't I just get rid of it? Say, what chaos? What anarchy? So I calm myself down. And the master says, don't do that. Okay? You empty the stillness and you empty your mind. You see, and these people, okay, are able to empty their mind and separate themselves from the commotions and the chaos surrounding them. And the master says, don't do that. Don't you dare. And that's why I would say in English for you, this current era, don't do that. Why not? Yes. 4. Thank you.
I can imagine you would not be able to help living beings that way.
You cannot help living beings at all. Why wouldn't you help living beings? Because if the noise bothers you, it affects you. You can't concentrate. How can you possibly help people you afflicted already? Yes, number 4.
You have to pass that stage so that you're no longer afflicted.
Pass that stage? You don't know what you're talking about, do you?
I don't, but I imagine you would have to.
See, that's what happens. People just keep on talking about theory. So I think, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to pay your dues and get past that stage. Anyone else? Ahung. I thought we brought back 2 more handheld. It doesn't work? They don't work? It's still not enough?
Master, is that because we cannot register what needs to be done at that moment?
You cannot register?
If we were to enter that state and then we were supposed to do work and we will remain calm, we cannot finish the task that need to be done.
Anyone else? This is very important. You miss this, you'll be in big trouble. Why do you think he keeps on insisting on this? It's very important. You guys think he's getting old and he worries too much. No, he says these things because he says this is crucial. Because in the future, your master will not tell you this. I'm telling you this. Yes, anyone else? Yes, 3.
네, 마스터. 제가 알기로는 시끄러운 과정에서도 삼매에 들어서 그 삼매를 키워나가는 게 선정력을 키우는 걸로 저는 알고 있는데 그것이 아닙니까, 그러면?
Sounds good, huh? Korean.
Master, what I think is in that chaos, when I enter the samadhi, does that mean that Actually, I'm building more samadhi.
Okay. Anyone else? It's very emphatic. It says, take care. It says, by all means, be careful not to. That's what he means. It's the emphasis here. Shen Wu, meaning is, you make sure you hear me. Yeah, I'm calm. Fine.
Master, to allow yourself to become peaceful and quiet in the face of the chaos that we're talking about is going to allow you to bring forth wisdom. Why wouldn't we do that?
So American. Anyone else? Good point. You see that? It's true. He said what he says is true. When you're afflicted, when your mind is chaotic, how can you possibly help anyone? Agree? So American. We Asians have better wisdom than that. Anyone else? Yes, San Diego, number 4.
Well, I know there's this statement that affliction is Bodhi.
Affliction is Bodhi.
Yes.
You call him in Chinese, but you're not even Chinese. It's called pleasurism. Let's be original. Can we be ourselves? And the heck with the Chinese, huh? Excuse me, all due respect. Yes, sir. Why wouldn't you want to contemplate stillness and empty your mind? Why not? Anyone? Yes, numero uno. Ever tried numero uno pizzeria? Yes.
I wonder if it is fourth stage arhat similar to, in a way, to the pitfalls of the third dhyana, because you get comfortable and then you don't want to leave.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, Q&A.
Sorry, Master, there's a lot going on here.
Okay. We contemplate stillness and empty our minds until they calm down. San Jose, calm down. We'll give you time. Okay.
I think something about you stop big progress if you dwell on that stillness, and you could not help people as much.
Okay.
Because the six patriarchs warning his disciples not to get comfortable with that state, and then not to be afraid of suffering and afflictions.
JMT.
Hello, Master.
Yes, honey.
I think you
shock the Koreans.
Master, six patriarch is referring to you need to keep working. Don't sit down and enjoy your stillness. Go work.
You like being called honey, huh?
Yes, Master, I like it very much.
Is this a lecture or what? This is getting personal and private. Yes, what were you saying again, honey?
I think the sixth patriarch is referring to don't enjoy your stillness, go and work.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else? Yes, nameless.
Is that the sixth?
3.
it as he said, do not attach to the stillness, the mark of stillness?
No, it's more profound than this. Yeah. Anyone else? Excuse me. Yeah. That's his nickname. Actually, Yahoo, but with the inflection differently. Yes, Yahoo.
Maybe it's like that. What you were saying before, how when you get to a certain level, you realize it's an illusion, but then the level above it, it's not anymore. So maybe what he's saying is, don't get stuck at the level where you think it's the illusion.
Go. Anyone else? Yes, entitled. Number 3.
Thank you, Master. If I put myself in the shoes of the people who are listening to the 6 Patriarchs' final instructions, and he says, don't empty the mind, to me that means he just spent his whole life telling you all this stuff. Why are you going to go throw it away now? Don't do that. And then not to contemplate stillness. You can be still, but contemplating it is kind of like a futile endeavor. You already know about it. Get on with the work that's ahead of you.
Can I paraphrase it this way, see if it makes sense to you? Especially number 3 here. Suppose your wife yells at you. Should you contemplate stillness and empty your mind or not? Well, you the one who asked me the question. Should you or shouldn't you? Assuming your wife is not here, would the answer be any different?
No.
Liar. Q&A, go ahead. You guys are so dishonest. You're all breaking precepts. Yes, Q&A.
We all agree if our husbands do that, the recipe for disaster.
Absolutely. Can you see the connection now? If your wife or your husband yells at you, you better not contemplate stillness. You better not empty your mind. Agree? You're going to get divorced. You're going to get spanked. Yes? You better believe it. What's the matter with you? I'm yelling at you. How could you empty your mind? How could you contemplate stillness? I'm hurting. How could you ignore me? Is that clear? Does it help? That's the answer. How could you? He's very emphatic. He says, don't you dare. These people are suffering. How could you? What is it called? Huh? What? What is it called? Compassion. Don't you have any compassion for me? How could you ignore me? What kind of person are you? You see people suffering and you ignore them? Is this what Buddhism is about? Is this what the way is about? You ignore me when I'm suffering? And that's what he says. Don't you dare. Personally, I've never read any patriarch who put it that way. Not my Chinese teacher, not my late Chinese teacher. sixth patriarch says so. He's the only one I know of who says so. Isn't it beautiful? Huh? We cannot afford to ignore people's suffering. We can't. Don't even try. Now, Korea, now you see why I prefer impure things? Because I want to see people suffering. I want to feel that. I don't know. To feel people's happiness is boring to me, but to feel people suffering is much more fun. You don't get it, do you? You're too nice. Go ahead, Q&A.
Master, a couple weeks ago, we talked about 一向三昧, the one mark samadhi, where we talk about being undisturbed.
Yeah.
So I think there is some similarity with these two, but there's some subtle difference. Could you elaborate?
一向 or
一向.
Huh?
The first one, the 一向, one mark.
Okay.
Where we talk about, you gave example of you waiting, one of the example was you waiting for, someone was waiting for us when we go shopping. And
I remember, yeah.
Right. And
you know your wife is going to yell at you. Your husband is going to yell at you. He's going to give you a hard time.
Yeah. And then you talk about we should be leisurely and then undisturbed and so on.
Yeah,
So,
I like the lecture. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that there's something about that feels like a first stage arhat's behavior, but I think maybe there's some difference too between this and then what the master is talking about here.
Okay, yeah, it's a difference. The difference is that the timing. Sometimes you don't want to use the 一向三昧, okay, like most of the time, if you will, in my mind, okay, that san mei here there is not meant for you to use when you're with people, unless it's for some special occasions. Okay, and it's furthermore at the advanced level. It's way beyond what I discussed when I told you those stories. It's another level where actually you practice 一向三昧, but it's not appropriate to discuss with you yet. You have to wait for a few more decades. YouTube, go ahead.
Jason asks, do fourth-stage arhats still get depressed and envious, or are they free from those sufferings?
That's a good question. Do we have the answer for that? Do fourth-stage arhat get depressed at all? No one moved, so the answer is yes. Okay, anyone else? Okay. What the great master is talking about here is so profound that that's why we spend about an hour and a half going over this, because it is that important. Okay, it is so important because remember the audience here, where many of them are in an arhat's range, okay, and they are meaning that from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 stage arhat and practical Buddhas and so forth, they're in that range, okay, and I would even venture to say, because I saw Master Shenhua disciples as well, at the lower range as well, this habit energy is so strong with these people, okay, that they better not contemplate stillness, they better not empty the mind. They better not say that you are bringing chaos to my temple, you are unwanted, you are bringing the COVID-19 to my temple, huh? You infecting me, huh? You understand? And you can't do that. That's what the six patriarchs say. I will interpret even on that range as well, because I see it happening. Because and you are different in that we're stressing to you right now, to all of you, that you better not contemplate stillness, that you better not empty your mind. Okay? Because it's lacking in compassion. That's not acceptable for us. It's not okay. So, in answer to the point raised earlier, if you allow yourself to be afflicted by the chaos, affected by the suffering, how can you possibly help them? Never answer the question. And the answer is, I don't know. I'm just repeating what the sixth patriarch says. I don't have all the answers. Do I look like a sixth patriarch? Someone saw me, he dreamed of me going to her house, dressed like myself. And I saw her and her husband, and they brought me to her house, and I immediately heard that, are you trying to sell your house or what? But no, her house too expensive, can't afford it, not me. So went to her house, and then I look at myself, and then they showed me a room. I walked in the room, okay, and I walked out. He said, when you walked out, I saw you. Suddenly your clothes changed. Your clothes became white. Look at how captivated he is. Look at him. Your clothes turned white. Yeah. And your face is still as charming as ever. But you look like more one yin. You dress like one yin, not like your normal self. So what does it mean in that dream? Suzanne, what does it mean? Huh? I said, give me 5 minutes, let me Google it. So I ran away, went back. I gave the answer. I'm one yin. Who else? How do I know? Do I look like a dream interpreter? Okay. Where are we? Okay. So it makes me so happy to hear the sixth patriarch say this to his disciple. He said, I'm worried about you. I'm worried about you. You have the skills to be able to shield yourself from the chaos, from these IKEA people. You know? Yes. His disciples look at us as, yuck, what's so nice about you? You want to be my disciple? Yeah. Can you check the temple next door? Go next door, it's bigger, it's nicer, and they need more money. So So to me, what he says here really resonates with me, because it's exactly what the monks and nuns are doing nowadays. They're acquiring skills, and what they do is say, no, you so icky, just stay away from me. No, you too Korean. No, you too Vietnamese. No, you too guru. You know, it's you know, it bothers me. I see that it's not Mahayana. It's not what we're about. So, I'm better than you? I do this because I'm better than you? If I'm better than you, why do I bother with you? Just stay away from me. Right? Oh. So, what he's saying here is the emphasis here is the emphasis that you need to suffer. You need to suffer because, yes, it has a disadvantage, sir, of confusing you. But it helps develop your compassion. That's the price you have to pay to develop compassion. If you want compassion, you have to suffer. You have to be confused. What are you talking about? You cannot develop compassion without suffering, without getting confused. Isn't it beautiful? What kind of monk would tell his disciples that except for him? Okay? The master is so compassionate, he has that vision, has so much wisdom. And I tell you another reason why it is so, because this is very subtle, so subtle that even most the other people, don't realize that what happens if you see chaos, if you see suffering, and you say, no, you shield yourself from that. What is the premise of that? Why do people do that? Because it's so subtle, you don't realize it. Only people at the level of 6 Patriarch would see it, would understand it. Because the premise of your actions is begins with an F. What's the word? Fear. Thank you, shrink. You're afraid, aren't you? You're afraid that you're going to be afflicted. You're afraid that you will lose your clarity. You're afraid to suffer. You're afraid to get what? What's the dirty word nowadays? Begin with an I. Huh? This brings back Roberta's. INFECTED. You're afraid to get infected, aren't you? If you're afraid to get infected, then you lack compassion. You're supposed to help people. You're supposed to feel people suffering. You're supposed to suffer for people. And you're afraid to get infected? Huh? What is the matter with you? You're afraid to get infected. I understand that. But we cannot be afraid to get infected. Is that clear? We have to get infected. Any questions? Yes.
Master, so based on this teaching, it seems like the sixth patriarch is saying that the high level, like fourth stage should confront all those and not be afraid and just go, okay, to be infected. But for people who are low level, should they do the opposite?
Should they? Do you feel like doing the opposite? I'm asking you. Should you do the opposite?
Well,
can you afford to do the opposite?
Well, out of compassion, you would want to go help somebody. But if your ability is not there, how are you going to able to do that if you?
Can I change the paradigm just a little bit? Suppose your son is crazy, he's depressed. Can you afford? He's screaming. He's wants to kill himself. He's manic. He wants to break glasses. He wants to wreck your car. Oh no, your car is not worth much. Burn your house and stuff like that. Okay. Can you afford to contemplate stillness and empty your mind? You can't, because you care, do you? Right? If you care, you cannot. If you care for others, you cannot. Not just your caring for your family. If you care for others at all, how could you possibly contemplate stillness? How could you possibly empty your mind of suffering? Never mind about solving or helping. Just ask you, if you care, can a mother ignore a child's suffering and pain? A mother, sorry. Yes, Kath.
I have a question. Let's say, for example, that, for example, myself, I work in a very strong field. How can I, or people like me that work in this field, how can we, even though we're not clean our minds, how can we still have stillness in our minds when we're helping people?
Buddhists, what do we care? Sorry. Do I care for non-Buddhists? No. I've been waiting for a long time for this opportunity. You too, go ahead. Just wait a minute. Let me gloat on my enjoy my. You too, go ahead.
Tian Guo asks, Master, this suffering to show compassion only applies to arhats or higher, not the regulars who cannot handle suffering and are filled with negative energy themselves, right?
I just answered the gentleman who says, if you're a mother, clearly Tian Guo isn't a mother, and that's why she didn't get the message. You're a mother, can you afford to ignore your child's suffering? The answer is that no, absolutely not. How can you contemplate stillness if your child is suffering? Yes, number 3.
So, Master, yes, and with regards to the question that somebody was, to your answer of first, there is no way you can just ignore the suffering of a son or something.
Yes.
My question is, can you guide us as to how can we continue our cultivation, or how our cultivation is going to come up from being in such a chaotic space and not being able to
Very good. Yes.
to be part of
Yes, very good. Yes, thank you. Of course, since you're Buddhist, I will be glad to answer you. But just a minute. YouTube, go ahead, YouTube.
Jason asks, if a fourth-stage arhat still gets depressed, what's the difference between fourth-stage arhats and ordinary people?
They also suffer. Very good. Question on JMT.
마스터, 두려움을 극복하려면 어떻게 해야 하는지 궁금한데요. 고통을 더 겪고 나면은 두려움이 더 커져서 더 극복하기 어려울 것 같아요.
Master, I'd like to learn how to overcome fears. If we experience more pain, I believe the fear will be increased. So how can we overcome the fear?
I'm afraid I can't help you. Okay. I heard something, a recent quote from something I kind of like. It's from some kind of a culture where it says, if the cane cannot break your back, it will strengthen it. Which reminds me of my late father. He broke a branch 1 inch thick on my back when I was 18 years old. He broke it. He says, how dare you be insolent? Okay, so when outside, chopped down a branch on a live tree, a fresh tree, so it's flexible. He broke it on my back. I say, how dare you, he says. That's why I hated it ever since. Hated him. Anyway, I don't forget, I don't forgive. Still is a scar on my back, so I look at the scar and say, my back got stronger. I no longer kowtow to you. Just kidding, just kidding. You got the point? If the pain and suffering doesn't kill you, it will make you stronger. That's the answer. Don't be afraid. If it kills you, so be it. If it doesn't kill you, you'll be stronger. Now you can look for a second wife. You're no longer afraid of women. Okay? You got the point? Okay, so he asked me the question, suppose I'm the field of helping people and I see people suffering and it affects me so much that I can't help them anymore. What can I do? Right? I'm paraphrasing the question because I don't remember non-Buddhist questions at all. But that's the gist of the question. Why do you think he's here? Looking for Buddhist answers. It's okay. Yeah, give it to him. Yeah. Number 3.
I come for 2 reasons, to be honest. Because I like to learn about Buddhism for whatever reason. And the second reason, because I do get entertained. Whatever reason why, and the third reason to accompany her.
Yeah, just to please her. Coward. He's afraid of that she would punish him. You see? Now, as of today, you can say, I'm not afraid of you anymore. Give me more pain. Here's what happens, folks. That's why I quoted, I like that quote so much. The cane that does not break your back will strengthen it. Okay? And that's Buddhist wisdom, by the way. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to face pain. Don't be afraid to face chaos. Don't be afraid that you will not be able to handle it. That fear is not necessary. Why not? The answer is here already. It's all there and none of you gets it? Am I the only one? Ching. Huh? Seriously? You don't get it? He says, disciples of mine. All of you, disciples of mine. Make sure not to contemplate stillness. Make sure you don't empty your mind because you're disciples of mine. Get it? Do you get it? I'm watching over you. I'm going to let you suffer. I'm going to let you, get scarred. But I will help you become stronger. You're not alone because I'm responsible for your suffering. Do you get it? They don't have that luxury. We have the luxury. If all of us, except for non-Buddhists, okay? If all of us follow his instruction, you think this is only for his disciples? It's for all of us, folks. If we take care, we make sure that we don't contemplate stillness when we can. Right now, don't be afraid, okay? But when you are able to contemplate stillness and empty your mind, make sure you don't do that because I will help you. Why would I tell you to do something and let you get in trouble? We're proud to be Buddhists, my friend, because the Master is watching over us. You believe or not? It's not just for his disciples, it's for us. You tell yourself, when you're about to give up, sir, and say, this is too much pain, I'm so confused, I don't know what to do. What do you do then, sir? You say what? Master, help me. What do I do now? Not me, you idiot. Him. He says, Master, he says, you're too obvious. You should, you see, no, when you're in trouble because you don't contemplate stillness, you don't empty your mind, you say, Venerable Huineng, please help me. What do I do now? I can't take this much longer. And see what happens. Do you have faith? Do you believe or not? They don't. It's none of our business. But we have the advantage of having a great teacher who says, trust me, don't be afraid. Just don't contemplate, just follow my instructions. And then you do that and you say, Master, what else now? What do I do now? You get it? You told me not to contemplate stillness. You told me to empty my mind. I can't take it anymore. What do I do now? Please help. That's our advantage, by the way. These teachers will not give you instructions and leave you alone, leave you to your own devices. They will stick around, make sure they watch over you. Remember the Amitabha Sutra? It says in the sutra right there, it says, if you recite it, Amitabha Sutra, you maintain it. Okay? You recite it. okay, then all the Buddhists in the world are aware of you, are watching over you. Same thing here. He's watching over you if you follow his instructions. You don't, it's not his problem. Does it help? It's nothing to do with Buddhism or non-Buddhist. It's not at all. He says, if you follow my instructions and you see people suffering, you help. You don't shut them out. You feel the pain. You get in the trenches with them. You die with them. And I will help you. Maybe in future lifetimes for non-Buddhists. Get it? Isn't it a powerful statement? Is my interpretation okay with you, or just am I overreaching? Yes, number 5.
Master, it seems as though I understand and I see your point you're making, that this is presumptuous, that at the point of being confronted with something that you need to come forth with compassion, you should definitely substitute the compassion in your heart to trying to continue with stillness or emptiness.
Here's what happens. Let me put it another way for you. What happens to the people who are so smart, who are so savvy, they said, no, that's all the pain I can take. That's all I can handle. I'm backing off. I'm reaching my limit. Seeing those people? They're called smart people. They're called savvy people. They're called experienced people. They're called, know-it-all. What happened to those people? If you like that, okay, what happens? You are limiting yourself. It says, this is my limit. The key word is limit. You're limiting yourself. You cannot grow anymore. You die. You decay. Agree or not? Because you say, I'm here. I will not venture out of it, so I will die in my cocoon. I will decay in my cocoon. He's saying, don't do that. Suffer. Reach out. Help. Then, when the time comes, I will help you overcome your limitations. Shall we stand up and bow to the 6th patriarch and say, please help us? You better believe it. You hear me? Such a beautiful offering. He says, don't be afraid. Go all out and help people. Suffer with them. I will help you. And that's why I want you to remember that. If you believe in him, he says, I will develop my compassion, and when you are supposed, get this straight, you're supposed to go all out and suffer and suffer and suffer until you break. Then it will make your back stronger. Does it make sense? It's so beautiful. And that thing there, if the cane doesn't break your back and make stronger, you know where it came from? Vietnam, what else? Ching! Yes, Lily.
네, 마스터. 지금 말씀하시는 게 제가 자세히 듣고 저도 처음에는 많이 흔들렸는데 지금 생각해 보니까 모든 사람에게 희생을 해야 그게 그 자비심으로 자기한테 돌아오고 좋은 방향으로 돌아오고 희생을 하라는 그런 말씀인 것 같습니다.
I like her voice is so charming, isn't it?
목소리가 너무
I wish when I get older like she is, then my voice become as soft and nurturing and, soothing.
부드러운 이런 목소리가 되게 갖고 싶기를 원합니다.
But no, I have to scream, I have to yell, I have to cry because I can't stand being bored. Yes, translation.
So, Master, I hear your story, and I realize that you're telling us basically we need to sacrifice, and eventually all the compassion will come back to us and help us.
No, the sixth patriarch said so. I just naughty girl. You're trying to pin it on me. I told you. You called Master Huineng and said, I'm in trouble because of you. Help. You call me. Nothing happens. Guaranteed. Koreans. Can't trust them. YouTube, go ahead.
Now, Tian Guo, Master, who is capable of contemplating stillness? Arhats and higher, or no samadhi people too?
People like you too. What happens, contemplation in stillness has a few levels. At your level, you say, my mind is still, my mind is empty. It will give you so much relief on your pain and suffering right away. It happens. And then the arhats level, it's real. At your level, Tian Guo's level, it's an illusion. It's just like she chooses to shift into a dream world and says, what pain, what suffering, I'm okay, you okay, we're okay. Sounds familiar? God is watching over us. You see what I mean? So it's the make-believe world where they said, I'm okay, and so forth. It works up to a certain point. Okay, so they shift the dream to another dream, that's all. It's perfectly okay. But at the people with some skills, they actually stop the pain completely. Okay? And sometimes they can't. And then at the next level, they can stop it completely, which the arhats cannot. That's why sometimes arhats are depressed, sometimes they're manic and so forth because they can't help themselves. Yes, sir. Catholic.
Hi, Master, I think I disagree with you in some aspects.
Why doesn't it surprise me?
We as Catholic or Christians, we have Jesus and God to help us with our suffering and also to help others with their suffering. We have to help people. We have to go to the grinder, as you say, to help others. And
Okay.
that's our mission too.
Yeah. Dream on. You didn't get it because you put all your faith in something that you believe to be omnipotent that can do anything. I'm trying to tell you that it works up to a certain level. For example, you believe that God helped you deal with the depression. It's true. Up to a level only. But you're still depressed. Cannot help beyond that. That's your proof. You are the proof, sir, that He can help you up to a certain level, but at the end of the day, you're still depressed, aren't you? You're going to disagree again? We put a D on top of his forehead. D, Mr. D. Okay? You can deny it all you want, but they take over anytime. There's nothing you can do. Yes, the days you feel so bad, right? Nothing you can do, right? Yeah? Right there is the proof. That's your state right now. That's the fact, is that they can help up to a certain level. We all have limitations. That's all. And what I'm trying to point out to you today in closing, that you can put your trust in Him. That's my message to you. You practice, you follow instruction, you said, very important for all of us to develop compassion. We cannot afford to ignore people's suffering. And when we have a chance, do not chicken out. Take it. Because even though you're not able to really help them, but you're shouldering the burden. That process right there makes you more compassionate. Guaranteed. And someday, that's a seed for you to become enlightened. That's how far reaching His instructions are. This is for you, for all of us, not just His disciples, for all of us who listen to this. If you do this, you are becoming more and more compassionate every time that you help someone carry the cross. And you say, I choose to carry your cross. I choose to share your pain and suffering with you instead of retreating to my comfort zone and where I'm safe. Okay? It's no, I will do more than I can. Okay? And that's how you grow. And that's how you stop your decay, folks. Stop thinking so much. Stop. I said, is it advantageous? How far can I go? Go all out. Okay? You see? You see why they have to be together? When you say there's so much I can do, it makes me confused, but the pain is not clearing my head, then you are discriminating, aren't you? See why they have to be together, this verse. Got it, Brady? Okay, thank you, everyone. Let's stop.